What's up, weaves? Welcome back to Melina. As always, I'm your host, Notorious. Joining me once again today is Shaun.
What's up?
And Melina.
She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it.
Fine, ready?
Yeah, if you're all your heart.
What is up, potties?
What's happening?
Fun is happening.
Yes.
Can you not stand it?
Oh.
Are you
depressed
against
one?
fun?
Okay.
So what are
This is
we doing
gonna be a
today?
good episode.
Well, we're gonna be talking about what we've been watching recently, but first, before that, during the middle of the night for us, a thing came out about a Disney.
Yeah. We already know about this.
We already
You
know about this.
don't.
Melina
No.
has no idea, which, to be fair, understandable, because I literally only found out about it like 5 minutes before you guys turned up.
I only just saw it like on the way to the train station.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So, here's the post from Discussing Film on this.
Here's breaking
Okay.
news.
Disney is trying to get a wrongful death lawsuit from a grieving husband tossed out of court because he signed up to Disney Plus years earlier.
What?
His wife suffered a fatal allergic reaction at a Disney Springs restaurant, but Disney insists that the husband agreed to arbitrate all disputes with the studio when he first signed up for a 1-month trial of Disney Plus.
So basically, they're saying that if you sign up for Disney Plus, Disney can do whatever the fuck they want to do legally, and you have no rights.
So she died from an allergic reaction, which is very serious.
Yes.
And as a restaurant, you should cater for it.
Yes.
First of all, be so fucking apologetic. And like, that's the people's fault. Unfortunately, it is the staff. Someone in there must have fucked up at some point.
Yeah.
But for Disney as a company to be like, excuse me, you can't sue us for that. Like, if it had anything to do with she had an epileptic attack from watching something on the platform, that would have to do with Disney Plus.
Yes.
Still, you can't have in a fucking agreement that
No,
this.
what
that nullifies your rights.
What they're
Yeah.
trying to say is that if you agree to the terms and conditions of Disney Plus, you cannot sue Disney over anything
That's
regarding the company,
Yeah, no matter what they do.
no matter what they do. That's not going to go down well in court.
No.
That's not going to hold any water whatsoever.
Even
thing
the
I-
shittiest lawyer can
Yeah.
argue that. So he was supposed to know that was all connected.
Yeah.
Well, the terms and conditions. Who the fuck
Even
reads that?
if you're like, oh, they're meant to know that's all connected, like, no one is going to go, yeah, you signed up to a streaming platform, therefore you cannot
you
sue
cannot
this
go.
company over something that happened in a restaurant.
Yeah,
Even the
you've waived your
park.
legal rights because you
Yeah.
signed up for a streaming service. That's absurd.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I did see when I was briefly like looking over it, like just before we met up, that like the most like this was just like a comment, so it's obviously not legal
Yeah.
opinion or anything, but it's the likelihood is that they know that this is a ridiculous argument, but they're just stalling the courtroom so that like the actual like
They have time to.
so the husband like is pressured to take a settlement because he can't keep up the money.
Yeah.
To keep it going.
Yeah.
So it's just basically financial like strong arm.
Which, very Disney of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Awfully.
It's the way of the mouse.
Yep.
Good old Giznip.
So fucked up. Like, that is the society we live in. Like,
That's
you know.
dystopia.
Yeah, like, we've had, such growths in AI, and I've seen memes about it. Me in 20 years in court defending the fact that I didn't steal it, even though they have footage of me, even though it's
Yeah.
generated.
Yeah.
But I cannot prove that it is. It feels the same, where it's like, well, you wanted to watch Beauty and the Beast. So now...
Your wife's dead and you can't do shit about it.
Disney is bad, and yet you watch Disney movies as a comfort. And yet you live in a society.
You want
I am
my
very
movies? You said you wanted the Baby Yoda?
Hypocrite. Therefore, your opinion is not valid.
But you love Disney. You pay us.
This is going to be like a month-old news by the time this
That's
episode
fine.
comes
Up to
out.
It's gonna be just as ridiculous
Yeah.
as... Because... That is so fucking
That's just
stupid.
fucked
Yeah.
up, yeah.
Like, I know shit like, oh, them tracking what you watch, curating their algorithm for you, that's all shit where I'm like, it's dystopian, but it's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
Anything
Netflix has
to
been
do-
doing that for years anyway,
Yeah.
so...
And no one reads terms and conditions these days. I know.
No.
We should be doing that, but you can't hide shit like that.
No.
Which, when they write it in their terms and conditions, they know they have no legal ground.
No.
Yeah.
Unless it's to do with content on the platform.
Yeah, that's the only part of any terms of service that are written is that it's only pertaining to content on that platform or your usage of said platform.
Yeah.
That's enforceable. Anything outside of that it has no grounds. Unless you're, thieving from said platform, but that's different.
Or like the very rare exceptional case, I'm not sure if I'm misremembering this, but like the Apple sort of clause that was like you can't use our iPhones to make like a nuclear bomb or something.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just breaking other laws.
Yeah, I think they have a weird thing where it's like if you use if you use Apple products in a movie, they can't be used by like the villains.
Yeah,
there's
for
that
those,
too.
Yeah, so,
Which gave away some things in some
Yeah.
movies. Was it like Knives Out or something
I
that
think
had like
Yeah.
all of them using iPhones except spoiler alert for Knives Out, Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this. It's
Yeah.
so stupid.
Yeah.
Because like, there's not many things that a platform can do wrong in order to be sued. It's things like plagiarism.
Yeah.
You're looking at things like epileptic attacks that weren't properly warned for. Maybe age ratings that weren't great, and that's it.
But the thing is,
it's all
depending on the
content.
region that you're operating in, those age ratings are like
Different.
legally mandated.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And not even set by Disney.
Yeah, because
You're right.
to go into like the age rating thing, this is gonna be possibly gonna be a detour, but like
Yeah.
whenever that comes up, I always think of like early video game industry when like because over here it was a bit weird as well, but like especially in America before the ESRB became a thing, video games up until the early 90s weren't given like standard like age ratings. Some games weren't given age ratings at all.
Yeah.
Which became sort of controversial when video games became more like realistic. I'm thinking like Mortal Kombat.
I'm thinking Mortal Kombat as well, because that was the one that triggered the whole thing.
Yeah, but like when violence was becoming in video games was
Yeah.
becoming more noticeable and stuff, like, and back then there were no age ratings, but like Sega and like Nintendo and all that stuff got into a lot of legal issues with the US government because people were complaining that like my kid got this fighting game and it's got blood and severed heads and stuff.
Which is so funny because even though we now have age ratings on everything,
No one gives a fuck.
no one gives a fuck, but we still get that complaint.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my kid's playing GTA. It has a big fucking 18 marker on it.
Yeah.
Why are you letting him play it?
Yeah, my kid's playing GTA. Who the fuck bought him it?
Exactly.
Yeah, but like it's such a stupid thing with parents nowadays. Because I think they want to be right. So things like, I took my kid to see this movie and he was terrified. I was like,
Why'd you take him to see Five Nights at Freddy's then?
Yeah.
Because his friends at school were gonna go. I'm like, okay, bad parenting.
Yes.
On their side, don't go.
It's like those parents or like guardians or whatever that take like their 5-year-olds to see like Insidious or something, or like horror movies, and like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, this is on you.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't sue fucking Disney Plus. It was like, my kid watched this horror movie on your platform and is now terrified. It's like you can set up parental controls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You just didn't do that.
Like,
Do you remember when Disney
Mm.
Plus added it wasn't the Hulu side of it. We had the Star
Star.
side
Star,
for a long
yeah.
time, and then America got it, and they had to put in all the parental control stuff on the American side, and fucking people had a meltdown
Yeah.
of the fact that like you could watch NCIS alongside fucking Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol isn't a Disney
Yeah,
Plus,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like
I
you
think
know,
isn't it?
I don't know. I don't fucking care who owns
There's
Paw
like
Patrol.
stuff for young
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, you can get like a little kids like account on like for us, like just at my mum's side, we've got like when my niece comes around and stuff, she's like 2 like right now. She's got like a personal profile like stuff that's just the kids stuff, and it's very clearly marked. It's even like all the colors are like brighter and stuff.
It's the same with
Doesn't stop the
Netflix.
fact that my sister keeps using my profile though to watch that stuff anyway. So sometimes I'll come back and see that my continues watching is a bunch of Peppa Pig and like Paw Patrol and stuff. And I'm like, I set this up specifically for her. God damn, sorry.
Yeah. Fucking kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucked. So do we want to get into the actual?
Calling out my sister on like this podcast. Sorry.
Do we want to get into the actual meat and potatoes of this
Woo!
episode?
The reason we're actually here.
The reason we're actually here. What you guys been watching, playing, listening to recently?
Anybody got anything?
Who's wanting to start? I feel like mine's is gonna take a while. So
Okay.
So I'm gonna put up my nice IMDb.
I'm on Letterboxd.
Nice.
I'm on my own brain. Because fuck notes.
Fair. I had to sit down and watch Eraserhead.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's not what I expected.
I don't like Lynch.
No?
No.
I've only seen a couple of Lynch movies, and Eraserhead's not one of them.
Manuel loves it.
I
think he's a big Lynch fan, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough of Lynch, but just from what I've seen, I'm not sure I would like him.
No, Eraserhead, I believe, is his first work.
Yeah, that was his big break.
Yeah. It took a very long time to produce, and it's fucking weird.
Well, it's
That's Lynch, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a... I don't know if it's supposed to be metaphor for abortion, but there's a big baby.
Big baby?
There's also a big baby in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
No, but I'm talking, there's a baby, and it looks like an egg. But it's like if you put teeth on an egg. It's like a T-Rex head. It's fucking disturbing looking.
Okay.
And it keeps crying.
I'm just gonna quickly look up the Eraserhead baby here
Eraser-
just to
go
get
ahead.
a visual.
Go ahead. Be fucking traumatized. It's because it doesn't make any sense. I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's hard to describe what the fuck that is.
It looks like an alien, but like
Yeah.
wet.
Huh.
Yeah, and it continuously cries.
Oh, okay. It looks like a really fucked up E.T.
What did Yoshi do to deserve this?
Yeah, and
Oh, I
but
didn't need to see it in color.
no.
Oh, there it is.
But yeah, I've been kind of watching some more slightly scarier stuff. I just was very much like, I want to watch Pearl, the movie Pearl.
Never heard of it.
A24
Oh, okay.
produced with Mia Goth.
I don't know who that
It's the I'm a star, please. I'm a star. No?
Oh,
That
hold
went
on.
viral.
I've seen a bit of this, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I've just looked
it's
her up. I
good.
have no idea who this woman is.
It's a really good film. I would recommend definitely because it's about a small town girl who wants
Just
to
a
like
small town girl.
leave the town and be a big famous whatever, and it takes place I believe in the 50s.
Yeah, it looks
maybe,
like
or-
Oh, Pearl's one of the X films.
Yeah.
Because you got X, Pearl, and then Maxine. They're all like a weird trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were.
I didn't know
connected
about
for
that until recently. It was someone at work was telling me.
I've just
So that's
looked
why
at it right
Maxine
now.
has like 3 X's
Yeah.
or whatever in it. Yeah.
But it's really weird. She's insane. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love a good, films about someone trying to get into the industry and failing. Oh, love that.
And
The
committing
realism.
violent acts
Yeah.
in 1918.
Oh, 1919.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Yeah. Also,
Okay.
for the first time ever,
Well, she said 50s earlier.
Oh,
so
Yeah.
I was correcting that.
I watched Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard
Oh,
it's
you need
hilarious.
to watch
Yeah.
it.
Is that the one? No. Is it Prince of Thieves? The one that's got Bryan Adams on the soundtrack.
I think you're thinking of Prince of Thieves. That's the
Yeah.
Kevin Costner one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's
Everything
that's
I do.
That's an actual legit Robin Hood movie.
Yeah.
Whereas Men in Tights is a
Like Men in
parody.
Tights. It's fucking great.
Mhm.
I love it. It
Is that a Mel
makes
Brooks movie?
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I
I
believe
think
it's Mel
so.
Brooks. Yeah.
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 It's so funny. It has so many like Disney Channel stars in like that play parents. So you're like, where do I know you from? Like, you were the parent on the show.
Oh yeah, you were in Cody in the House.
Yeah. But it's just it's fun to watch sillier things because it doesn't take itself very seriously. It has songs in it. It's silly. They have visual gags. Fucking Patrick Stewart's in it.
Oh wow.
It just comes up at the end and it's like, I'm back. Like, what?
Patrick Stewart just appears in a bunch of random things sometimes.
Yeah, but I love that for him.
Yeah, yeah.
He deserves it.
Dave
Love it.
Chappelle's in it?
Yes, he is.
What?
For like a long time.
What do you mean a long time?
Like, he's in most of the movie. He travels with Robin Hood. Yeah, I believe his name was,
Achoo.
Achoo, yeah.
Yeah.
Which you could probably guess what that is, haha.
Uh-huh.
Haha.
Yeah.
Haha.
Hee hee.
Yeah, but I've just been like, I want to watch movies that I've been wanting to watch for a long time. I created a wheel with my wheel.
Okay.
Spin. That's why it's kind of everything.
Yeah.
It's just chaos. But one movie that I want to talk about that I know you may have seen by this point is Deadpool Wolverine.
I haven't.
Oh,
yet,
I haven't
but
seen this.
I really need to.
Ooh, you do. It's not great, but it's fun enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting high art from Deadpool.
Yeah.
No, the cameos are really fun.
I've seen some of the cameos. I've seen one in particular that's insane. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
Okay, I'll have to find that out at some point.
I don't even want to say the line in case I give it away to Sean.
Oh yeah, no, don't say it. Don't say it.
Just imagine the line has no spaces in between the words. It's just.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The only line I really know from like Deadpool and Wolverine is just till you're 90. When he's saying like,
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
He's
yeah.
gonna be doing till you're 90.
Yeah.
because I've been seeing it everywhere. I saw it like last time was just used when like Toy Story 5 got like announced.
Oh, yeah.
It was just it was Eddie from Tom Scott and Friends.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
It was just a picture of Toy Story 5 and just the tweet till you're 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Again, watch it.
I know.
It's a good fun movie. Don't think about the story too much.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it.
No, don't worry about
Just
it.
to sort of quickly tap onto Toy Story 5, I seen like, you know, obviously the whole thing of it being announced, it's like, oh, it's toys going up against like electronics.
Yeah.
And someone commented like, or someone quote tweeted it with like, oh, that's so tired. It's like, just have them go up against like the invasion of anime figures and Funko Pops. That's a far more interesting movie. And I'm like, oh fuck, that would actually be.
Yeah, that would make so
Oh
much
my
sense.
Yeah.
Just Funkos. Just the Funkos.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, even just the
Oh
Funkos.
my god. They would love that as their marketing.
Yeah.
Just them being little bitches.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
Have it like, was it like the Lego Movie sequel where they were against like what?
Oh, Princess.
Playmobil or something?
No, Princess Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the kids Legos.
Yeah, yeah.
Duplo.
Duplo
maybe?
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that was
Something
Lego
like,
movie. Some of the best fucking movies. Lego Batman. Best
I still
Batman
haven't
movie.
seen Lego
Yeah,
Batman.
that's
You
on my
need
list.
to buy
I have it. I haven't
It's
got around to watching it
best
yet.
Batman movie I've ever seen.
How many Batman movies have you seen?
I was gonna say,
3.
wow.
And what 3 were they?
The first Schumacher I've seen.
What?
You saw Forever.
You saw Forever?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm so
Do you
sorry.
mean the Burton one, not Schumacher?
Maybe.
Did it have?
Who was Batman?
Oh, that fuck if I know. Jack Nicholson. There you go.
Oh, if it had Jack Nicholson in it,
If
that's
Jack Nicholson was in
the
it, yeah.
Tim Burton movie.
Tim
That's
Burton.
Batman
So-
'89.
Yeah.
I've seen the first of the Nolans.
Okay, so you've seen the. Okay,
seen
you've seen
Begins
Batman
and-
Begins.
Lego Batman?
Lego Batman.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen the only necessary ones.
I mean, I'd argue Dark Knight is a pretty big one you need to see. And the Batman's fucking.
Batman is
I
great.
mean, yeah.
If it weren't for that last hour,
Yeah, but it's just so long
It's
that
3
I don't
hours,
want to commit
yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem.
it's worth it. Even if the last hour's like,
Yeah.
okay, you could have ended,
Yeah.
you know.
But it's just you have to sit down.
Yeah.
Put it on.
You put it on, and it's just so
It goes
much to do.
on, and then
Yeah.
suddenly it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. But yeah, I recommend everyone make a wheel of all the movies you want to watch, and you're like, I want to watch a movie tonight.
I should do that because
Yeah, that's a good
my
shout.
I've been like slowly adding either stuff I own or stuff that I have like on my PC that I've been meaning to watch for a while, and my watch list on Letterboxd is getting
Yeah.
filled up because I've got like all the Bong Joon-ho movies on here now because I
Yeah,
bought the
fair.
box set. I've got the like loose ones of like kaiju movies from Toho, so it's like a lot.
But it really helps because very often I'm in a mood where I'm like, I want to watch a movie. Make separate lists for above 2 or above 3 if that's your max.
What do you mean?
Hours? 'Cause
Oh, hours.
hours,
timeline,
okay.
yeah. Because
Oh, okay.
if I'm like, I want to watch a movie, I mean no more than like 2 and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, no more
my
than
roundabout's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I don't think anything I've got on here is actually that long. Because I think I've seen all my long movies. Oh, Ran is probably the longest one, but that's like 2
Yeah.
hours 40 or something like that.
Well, always recommending the wheel.
Good shout.
Good job, yeah. So what y'all been watching?
I'll defer to
Yeah,
Sean for a
mine
bit.
might be a bit quicker because I've been sort of slipping on movies recently, I'll be honest. So like, as off the top of my head, I haven't think of any movies I've been watching, but I have been watching mainly recently House of the Dragon.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I even though the ending was shit, I'm still sort of a big Game of Thrones fan. Like, I am a nerd. I loved the show. I was obsessed for a good few years. Holy fuck. I've even read some of the books.
Come on, George.
Yeah.
Get fucking to it, George.
He's never gonna fucking do
No,
it.
he's not.
Just going into a little rant here. George Lucas.
George Lucas.
I'm so used to ranting on George Lucas. Martin has no fucking idea how to end that fucking series.
Nah, because he saw his ending go up on the screen.
Well, no, I don't even think just that. I think he genuinely doesn't know how to end it.
Yeah.
I think he gave them maybe an outline from like when they started the show in 2011 and what he thought might be the ending, but that's been fucking up.
He's too
ending at
lost
this
in the
point.
sauce at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, because the thing about George R. R. Martin is he's great at building plot lines.
Yeah.
He cannot fucking end them into any sort of conclusion that doesn't just end with everyone dying.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a cop out.
It can work.
If it
can
makes
work.
sense why
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how, I'll let it happen.
Yeah, but like if he just in frustration ends it all in the White Walker like death, unless it's like actually done well.
Yeah.
But he'll be dead before that happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so House of the Dragon.
How is it?
I have mixed feelings. Let's just say that.
Oh, I wish viewers could have seen the little dance you just did.
Yeah, I did it. And okay, so in
It's second
preparation,
season now, right?
yeah,
Yeah, they're in second season.
they're on the second season. In preparation, I rewatched season 1 because I watched that as it was coming out. This time I watched it in one big swoop. Season 1, genuinely good season. I had fun with it. You could tell that George R. R. Martin was a bit more involved in this because again, he's never finishing those fucking books till he's dead.
If I just write a prequel.
Yeah, genuinely, yeah. He has written like 3 or 4 prequel books at this
He
point.
went and worked on a fucking video game instead.
Yes. And
just-
the show.
He just needs someone. Right. Right.
I don't think that's going to stop him. Or continue, whatever. Anyway, season 1, pretty good. Enjoyed it. Season 2, the actual episodes were fine, but there was very clearly some behind the scenes fucking shit.
Okay.
Specifically at HBO that sort of...
Sorry.
You want to keep clicking?
I'm gonna break it.
Oh my god.
There you go.
You good? Okay. Because, so Game of Thrones seasons usually last like 10 episodes. This season had 8.
Oh, that's never a good sign.
No, it's not. And by the time, and I was like, okay, so maybe they're just building stuff up because I know the general backstory of this prequel show. I know the actual conflict that it's about. I know the ending basically already,
Yeah.
which gave me hope that and with George R. R. Martin sort of helping along with this series, it'd be a nice sort of expansion on what I already knew, and it has been so far. But and I figured this season would basically just be building up some of the more battle stuff that's going to be heavy on in later seasons.
Yeah.
It ends very abruptly.
Oh god.
There are plot lines, but like by the end it feels like it's building up to a climax, and then now we're just waiting 2 years.
Oh god.
And it feels like... You good?
No, I just seen thing floating down.
It wasn't until after I saw the last episode that I saw went online and realized, oh, HBO Max is sort of imploding a little.
Yeah, I think Warner.
Yeah,
is
Warner Brothers Discovery
going through a
specifically.
time right now. Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of corner cutting going on. It's also linked with the whole, movies that are now being unreleased because of tax write-offs and stuff. Remember?
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
100%
we've been
bullshit.
all-
remember
all-
Batgirl?
Yeah. No project that has made it like to the editing suite and has been like mostly edited, even come out, should then be available on some platform.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You can't just pretend it didn't happen.
At the very least, just put it out there somewhere.
Wasn't there a Star Wars show that was I thought Willow?
Oh, that's
Oh.
I don't. Yeah, I think Disney wrote that as a tax write-off because it's not on Disney Plus now.
No, because I saw I think a reel on Instagram about it and was like, yeah, I made a full cosplay, and then Disney decided no, and it's just not in a show that's
Yeah.
available.
I completely forgot that happened to Willow.
Yeah.
Fucking
Poor
bullshit.
Willow.
I don't even know why they did that for that show.
It felt like that. It felt like that just basically was about to come out, and then
I think it did come out. I think it was on Disney Plus for a while, and then they just
silently.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. I don't know how you can get away with doing it for something that's
exactly.
out. That's insane.
Well, at the very least, that's got to be like out there, like for
Oh
pirates
yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
so it'll exist somewhere.
Yeah.
Still fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because unfortunately, I maybe shouldn't say this on on a podcast. The art of piracy is dead.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like the younger generations,
The art of piracy.
don't know how to do it.
No.
They go on a website,
Yeah.
and they think, I'll just stream this in the worst fucking quality possible, get all these ads served to them, have all these fucking cookies applied in their browser, and then possibly end up with malware on top of it.
Yeah.
The art of it is gone. Just
Yeah.
fucking download a torrent.
But scary.
Fucking scarier than going on some dodgy website that disappears every couple of days.
Yeah, because I'm downloading something.
Yeah, you just Google the name of the website, not the actual web address, because they have to change it so often.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it happened to me as a teenager, because I used to use
Yeah.
this website. I'm like, why isn't it working? It's like, oh, because instead of now PZ, it's now QS.
Yeah,
And,
that does occasionally happen to like torrenting sites and stuff, but it's like you bookmark it and it'll redirect you.
that's smart. I
Like
didn't think.
I don't think it works for those sites. Those sites are not made in that smart way.
No.
I hope to God we don't have to cut this out.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I have no qualms with like saying, "Oh, I'll pirate stuff."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like part and parcel of
Yeah, at this point,
living in this day and age. I think.
mandatory, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't make it readily available, like for me to either buy or watch
Yeah.
on any
What else am
platform,
I going to do?
what do you want me to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, but that's
Like,
all I can do.
If you're in the UK specifically, there are so many things where it's like get tied up in like rights bullshit where we
Yeah.
don't get them for like 5 months to a year
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
after.
I remember when Disney Plus was first coming out, like 2019, like it came out in America like months before
Yeah.
we got it, and so and I remember very vividly 2019. I had to watch the first season of The Mandalorian purely pirated
I did that too, yeah.
because we couldn't watch it. But
Netherlands was one of the first.
We didn't get it until what was it, March 2020?
Yeah, March 2020.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where
Yeah.
like Mandalorian was coming out like late 2019, so and because every Star Wars place was talking about it and it was
Yeah.
really good, what else was I supposed
Yep.
to do?
No, absolutely.
Anyway, back to Thrones.
Back to Thrones.
The most pirated show ever.
Yes.
But,
Oh my god, yeah.
so it fits. But yeah, there were like 8 episodes to build up some good plot. We had some good plot, like continuation and stuff from like what happened in season 1, and then just last episode suddenly it concludes.
Oh.
And it wasn't until later I realized, oh, so like the CEO of like Warner Discovery making like so many cuts, HBO had to cut it down to 8 when they were clearly preparing for
Yeah.
10. So they've had to very quickly rush out that ending in the edit.
Such a
And now we have to
shame.
wait 2 years for the next one.
God damn.
Oh my god.
With that said, overall, good season, I'd say. Maybe it has its problems.
Yeah.
I don't think I like it as much as season 1, just because season 1 was a full season.
Yeah.
And fully expanded on things, and people will argue about changes from like the book and stuff that was changed, because there's been quite a few changes from the
Yeah.
book.
But that's basically the TV show too. Like that
Yeah.
was massively different.
Yeah, but like, and like I'd say for like the most part, some of the changes in the show make the story better. Because in the book it's a bit more, because it's more backstory lore than an actual plot story
Yeah.
that you're focusing on. A lot of the plot details are a bit like skimmed or like more simple. Like, to give a brief summary, it's all about the Targaryen dynasty, like a war of succession basically, where you've got like one daughter who was declared the heir, but the lords of the realm don't want to be led by a girl.
Ew.
So they instead try to, a lot of them instead try to support the younger son of the king, which leads to the whole civil war. But the main thing in the book is that that king's second wife, who had the son, was sort of like just basically just a bitch.
Okay.
Just like an evil queen basically,
Yeah.
who was like purposely trying to get her son on the throne and stuff. Whereas the show made that the queen and the princess who would later try to become queen, best friends in childhood.
Okay.
So they have like a whole like relationship there, and it shows that like, you know, the queen's sort of like, there's a lot more layers to her character. You can see where she's coming from and actually understand her. And in the show, she's basically the only one on that side that's actually a decent person. Whereas everyone else is just sort of manipulating for their own ends. Which is, I think that's the fundamental change I like. And it's definitely bled in well to this season, but it's just all the problems of this season just come to the fact that it's really short and a lot of plot lines were just sort of cut down because of that. Which makes it feel sort of unsatisfying. Yeah. And not great. And I have to wait 2 fucking years again.
That's the big thing now, is it's like sometimes a season of a show can be really good, but we're in a part where like streaming plays such a part in it, where you're waiting like, you know, sometimes 3 to 4 years for a season. Because
traditional TV is dead.
Yeah.
And say the benefits of what you want for stream, but traditional TV at least brought in like good numbers and money and set like good schedules. Yeah. Like you had to like get this out.
You could predict when something was coming back. You knew roughly when it was going to be back on air.
Because it was more linear, but you at least knew like what was expected and stuff. And like, obviously productions are getting bigger and bigger and bigger because
which you can argue is maybe not necessary.
No.
For TV anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say TV, especially in video games and stuff as well, to go into that stuff. Budgets are getting inflated to fuck.
Definitely.
Which can bleed into like much longer production times, which I feel like is suffering.
GTA 6 is estimated to cost $2 billion.
Does it really need to?
To some extent, I get that with the development time, which I also think people need to realise that it didn't really go into production until maybe 3 years ago. Yeah. Like properly, like full intensity.
Yeah. Despite the fact that people have been talking about it for over a decade, like it didn't go into production until after Red Dead Redemption 2 finished.
To some degree, I have to say that people need to manage expectations of what our shifting expectation of the gaming industry is. And
to be honest, media industry as a whole.
Yeah, but I'm going to focus on video games for a second, where we have this massive push to cut crunch culture.
Yes.
To cut out unpaid overtime, to cut, you know, having people having to stay over in the office overnight. And,
because those conditions are legitimately horrible.
Yeah. But I think people are conflating an increasing budget and lengthening development times with something different.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Getting a lot of noises in this session. Holy fuck.
Oh, it's someone cutting the grass.
Oh god.
Apologies if you can hear that.
Yeah. Oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah. Do you want to cut for a minute?
Yep, I'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, sorry about the sudden game talk here.
No, it's fine. Is it picked up? Oh shit.
Christ.
We want to have a mid-episode break?
Yeah.
And just,
yeah.
Because I don't want you to go into your whole talk.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
We've got time.
Yeah. It's early. We can enjoy the nice day.
Yeah. Blinds closed. Because we'd all be getting cooked alive if I opened them.
Oh yeah,
especially
100%.
me.
You're pretty much directly in the sun's path if I open them.
Oh boy, the most anticipated movie of the year, Craven's got a poster.
Oh god, I forgot that was coming out.
Same.
Also fucking D23. Are we getting anything original?
No, it's all IPs.
It's all just, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we're doing Craven's thing. I'm like, what? Why?
Why?
Who wanted this?
Did people really ask for that?
What was the was it Mandalorian and Grogu where they were like, oh, this character's showing up, and it was literally like the definition of Blorpo is showing up and Glub Glub
it's Blorpo.
Aye, yeah. And there were actual Star Wars fans in the comments like defending it, and it's like, no, he's an actual character, and it's like, no, you don't get it. This is actually the joke.
This is the funny thing.
Yeah, this is like literally the definition of this joke, where it's like, this may be a pre-established character, but if you're not super into the lore and the fandom, just doesn't land.
Yeah.
Like what else? We have Toy Story 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I thought we were done with Toy Story. Not that I've seen it.
So did I after 3.
They said they were done after 3, then they did 4, then there was meant to be a Woody TV show.
Oh yeah.
But now they're doing 5. There was meant to be a Woody TV show.
Fuck off.
But I don't know if like Disney Plus and then COVID changed the
Tom
plans.
Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Well,
I think if they did a Woody TV show, it would probably be
Hated R.
No. Oh, what's his name? Tom Hanks' brother.
Oh,
yeah.
Jim Hanks.
Jim Hanks, because he stands in from a lot. As it sounded like.
Yeah, he does all the video game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were gonna say if they do a Woody TV show, they should make it the actual in-universe TV show.
That I would watch.
Ooh.
Yeah, like Woody's Roundup.
Yeah, but like that would be such a fun little Easter egg, just to have these short, like 5 minutes episodes or something.
Yeah.
Like that'd be actually fun.
They do Toy Story shorts all the time. I'm actually surprised they haven't done it yet.
Yeah. There's so many shorts, and none of them are like.
I remember watching some of
substantial.
them when I was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
But every year D23 it just feels.
Yeah.
Same with like the Marvel Showcase. Like, every year, like
We get PNGs with dates. The dates inevitably shift.
yeah.
So the
only
next D23 we're seeing the same thing.
The only thing I'm slightly interested in, this is just for Marvel stuff at this point, other than Deadpool and Wolverine, is the Daredevil show.
Oh yeah, Born Again.
That's basically just Daredevil season 4.
Yeah.
Because they're bringing back Punisher's confirmed to come back. I mean, we got Kingpin obviously, and we've got Bullseye. He's confirmed to come back.
Right.
I have to watch Daredevil.
You should watch Daredevil.
Like I want to be excited for Thunderbolts, but I don't care.
I don't care about that either.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'm
could
like-
not give a shit.
I should care because I like the characters in it.
I'm
like,
officially
I don't-
done with the actual main Avengers stuff for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't care about Captain America. Like when
I want to
Falcon and Winter
care
Soldier came out, I was so excited, but they've just spent too long and they don't have the focus to. Yeah.
I want to care about Captain America, but I just can't.
Yeah.
All I care about like right now for Marvel is not the main Avengers stuff, but like the low level Daredevil level, and I mean the next Spider-Man stuff is a given. But that's just me. And even that only at this point would really depend on. I mean, I'm gonna go see it anyway because it's Spider-Man and I'm a fanboy, but like. It'll depend on how they do Spider-Man 4, because from last I heard there were 2 competing visions.
Yeah.
Which were like which was the one the Disney execs and stuff were pushing, which would have Zendaya and
Yeah.
basically a repeat of the last 3 movies, where just all the main cast would come back, and I don't know if it was Feige or like, but just someone who was actually working on the movie was like, no, I want to do a street level. Sort of Daredevil
dark and gritty.
The type of Spider-Man we haven't had a chance to get with Disney, because Disney have wanted to immediately be a world level competitor.
Yeah, or any real Spider-Man adaptation since honestly Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. They just need to take those chances more. Like, we'll see. Like, I know that it's like, yeah, but it's Zendaya. Makes like money. Like, put it behind us.
Unfortunately, I could not give any less of a shit about Zendaya.
Yeah, let Zendaya do.
I don't care.
I think she's a bit overrated
as an actress. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. In my for Disney, just let Zendaya do the movie she actually wants to do right now. I doubt she wants to come back for Spider-Man like right now.
Nah, I mean,
She's-
June sort of put her on a massive level that even Disney couldn't have.
I mean, she's like been on Euphoria, which is massively popular. They're shooting their 3rd season, I believe. She's a fucking executive producer on that.
Yeah.
She doesn't need Marvel.
No.
Doesn't need all that.
Tom Holland's career has been interesting post Spider-Man.
What's he been up to?
He was in Uncharted, which didn't perform well.
No.
He's just been, you know.
He wasn't he in the movie that the Russo brothers did that also flopped?
Yes, he was.
What was it called? Was it Cherry?
Oh, I think something like that with Ridley.
Daisy Ridley, yeah. That again, Russo
when
brothers.
you know you've never
post,
heard of it.
Yeah,
That's bad.
The Russo brothers post MCU has also been rough.
And they're coming back.
Oh boy, yeah, we didn't even talk about fucking Robert Downey Jr.
He just
Doctor
stood there and
Doom.
like, oh.
I love how awkward he is doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you were once the most charismatic person in the room. Now you just look like a worn out old man.
You're just here for the
You're just-
paycheck.
yep.
They offered you a fuck ton.
The thing is, he has been doing great
Yeah.
since he was in Oppenheimer. He was in The Sympathizer, where he got to play like a whole bunch of characters.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like his career's now I would say it's taking off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Host.
And I think
Spider-Man.
going back to the MCU is a massive mistake, because like he
Absolutely.
talked about it during Oppenheimer, where like him and Nolan sat and like talked about how to essentially break him away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How to make the audience not see Tony Stark
Uh-huh.
because he's been that linked to the character.
Yeah. Bring him back as Doctor Doom, so fucking dumb.
Like
It's-
there was one comic plot line where it happened that Tony Stark became Doctor Doom, and I'm like, I think people are fixating on that because that's not what the route they're gonna take.
No, they're gonna make him Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just with Robert Downey Jr.'s face because the multiverse.
Yep.
Yeah.
So stupid.
I mean, assuming that they're not just gonna have him in the mask the whole time.
Yeah.
Which, if they get Robert Downey Jr. back, they're gonna want to show him off.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They're gonna make him come back and like have everyone mistake him as Tony and
Yeah.
stuff. So
It's such an apparent, desperate move.
oh yeah.
Both getting him back and the Russo brothers.
They could
Yeah.
have done. They could have just recast Jonathan Majors.
Could have. It would. With the multiverse, it was perfectly easy.
Yeah.
Even with that one scene. What was
Oh,
it?
the Kang Dynasty thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's Ant-Man.
It's
Yeah,
Ant-Man and the
Ant-Man.
Wasp.
Even-
but because I think part of it, them ditching Kang, is to do with the reception to
Of
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Well, yeah, because it was a shit movie.
There was also a scene cut from Agatha, I think, where he
Ooh.
showed up.
Oh.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, he was meant to
Agatha even coming
play.
out?
Well, it was Kang. It was Kang variant. There was a name specifically that I read and went, oh yeah.
Oh, he was like the old guy variant thing.
I think he was like the.
Professor thingy.
No. That was Loki.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's it.
It was like a sort of like Egyptian-esque looking.
Ramatut.
No. I can't remember the name.
No,
Can't be
but-
bothered to look it up either.
Like I'll watch whatever the show Agatha is named now.
Yeah.
Lord knows they'll go
Agatha,
through
yeah.
Coven of Darkness, Agatha all
Also,
along.
talk about missing the fucking train.
Yeah, true that.
4 years after.
Yeah.
It's called. Oh yeah, they renamed it now to Agatha All Along.
Oh, is it actually now?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what it fucking started as.
yeah. As soon as they were like, "Oh, you guys like this character? We're coming out with a show."
In 5 years,
Coven
the
of
hype train
Chaos.
is long dead.
Coven of Darkness, The Witch's Road,
House of Darkness.
House of Darkness,
House of Agatha.
House of Agatha,
The
Agatha
Lion,
all
the Witch, and the
along.
Wardrobe.
Yeah. And Blade.
And Blade. God,
Blade that's been in development hell since 2019.
God.
He'll get there.
Some
won't.
motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill.
Why does that line always come? Remember when they teased Blade at the end of Eternals 3 years ago?
Oh yeah.
Remember when Harry Styles showed up at the end of Eternals?
No. Remember when Seth Rogen did?
Oh God, yeah. What a shit show.
Oh my god.
Like,
I don't care.
yeah.
I'm sad that I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to care.
Yeah. I so desperately want that, like, oh my god.
Yeah, I want to go back to 2021 when, like, we were genuinely excited.
Yeah. I mean, COVID didn't,
Yeah.
because of COVID, we were just like, anything.
Anything, yeah. But,
Entertain
like,
me.
still,
Yeah.
genuine enjoyment.
Have a little peek. Is he
Yeah,
putting
he's
it away?
He was streaming, so he's. I think he's done.
Okay, are we
Yep. Give me a second.
Yeah, no.
cutting back in?
Okay, so I was talking about inflating video game budgets.
Yes.
Apologies for the quick jump in time there. We had a outside issue.
It wasn't Scuff. It wasn't Scuff this
No.
time.
My point was with increasing development times and budgets. It's like I think we need to take into account that we've essentially try to make life better for video game developers. And what comes along with no unpaid overtime, which comes along with no crunch, is that naturally we end up with a doubling or tripling of development time and budget, because one, we're paying for their time now, but also we're having the time happen within constricted office hours, which means they're not staying and doing 36-hour shifts or whatever. So I think to a degree I understand it, because the scale of a Rockstar video game is insane.
Absolutely.
Now the scale of it, that arguably I can say, does it need to be that? Because ever since they started increasing the scale of their games, I've stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, like, for me, 5's map felt pretty big, but like,
I
maybe
think
you could expand that a little bit, but like, it feels like I'm thinking that, but I'm also thinking in comparison to like Red Dead Redemption 2, which feels like it has a huge map. I mean, along with all the other huge shit in Red Dead Redemption 2 that makes it, to me personally, feel like a bit of a chore to play, and I don't know if that's sacrilege.
No, I haven't played Red Dead 2 for that exact reason. It's too big, and it's a thing as well that Rockstar have done, is that with 5 and Red Dead 2, it's not just the sense of scale, it's like along with the scale comes the realism, and it's like, at what point are you just chasing mundanity instead of...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my god.
Is it the same guy?
It's the same guy.
It's gonna be the same guy.
Did he get the actual mower out or something?
I'm just gonna keep talking.
Sure.
We're so sorry for the background noise.
So yeah, they're chasing mundanity instead of like making a fun video game.
Yeah, because like I noticed this, like, especially in 5 still had a bit of a sense of humor, obviously, because GTA, but like GTA was originally supposed to be a parody of all this sort of stuff, but it feels like with like, especially when Red Dead 2 came out, which was like, Red Dead 1 was a bit more serious, obviously, but it still had like goofy moments and stuff, and I don't want to say cartoonistic, but like,
No, I think it was a little more like stylized.
Yeah, like, and it had like its own wacky stuff. I mean, remember like the zombie DLC and stuff? That was just full goofiness.
Yeah.
But then Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and it's suddenly a very serious sort of western, almost, with like fun moments, but it's like as much as a comedy that you'd see in like, well, maybe not a Marvel movie, because those are just becoming comedies, but in like your standard action movie, where like it's still mostly serious, and it feels like GTA 6 is going to continue on from there.
Yeah.
Which feels weird for GTA, because GTA is supposed to be a parody of America, but now it's just becoming like an actual serious crime.
Yeah, it's
series.
just becoming America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that game hasn't come out and isn't coming out for like a year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Reception from what I've seen has been pretty good.
That's gonna happen no matter what.
Yeah, I mean,
GTA
it's been
6, like,
ages, so to say.
Like, it could be terrible, but fuck, I'm probably still gonna buy it.
Oh, I'll still buy it. I'll still play it. But like, GTA fans, it's like FIFA and like Call of Duty fans. Doesn't matter what comes out, they'll eat it up.
They'll eat it and then they'll complain about it.
Yes.
Yep.
The thing I've been thinking of is that for GTA 6 specifically, I feel like because it's been so long, like GTA 5 got so popular because the decade beforehand we had a GTA game every like couple of years or so. So like that momentum grew and stuff, because GTA 5 has been out for over a decade and will be like, what, 12 years old?
Yeah.
From when GTA 6 comes out, assuming it's not delayed. Like, will that momentum still be there just from 5? And will it be the same kind of momentum?
Yeah. It's like the Elder Scrolls 6 as well, you know?
Like, my thought is that, like, Rockstar are going to be expecting 6 to outclass 5.
Oh.
For it to be considered a success at all.
The thing that they need to do is the same as all video game publishers at this point, is they need to manage expectations of how much units they're going to be able to shift, because of COVID, because of these lengthening development cycles, you don't have the same installation base on the PS5 and Xbox Series X as you do with the PS3 and Xbox 360 back in the day, and then the PS4 and Xbox One. So we're seeing like these really expensive titles that have had this really long development cycle, and they're expected to sell these insane amount of units, but the player base isn't
not
there. No, because a lot of people still only have a PS4 or an Xbox One, because
I can't even blame them for that.
I wouldn't blame them, because there's just not that many games to sell the system.
No.
And even if GTA 6 is out, it's not exactly, I don't think it's a system seller at this point.
No.
A lot of people might wait until the PS6 comes out, because that's going to be on the horizon by the time it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Or a lot of gamers are going to be, I mean, not to like overstate the PC base, but like PC gaming has, I think, especially in the last 10 years, grown a lot.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So like a lot of gamers now are going to be waiting until the inevitable PC release.
Yep.
Even if it takes like another year or so.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all fucked.
And
it's all fucked.
To go into like just the whole industry like outlook and stuff, you're right that like we're at a point, and this is just a media thing overall. We've reached a point where like game companies or like movie companies or whatever aren't considering their product a success unless it vastly outclasses their previous thing.
Yeah.
On and on. And it's that fundamental capitalism thing where like eternal growth, otherwise you're a failure.
Or be Square Enix and always shoot for the sun when you've never even reached the moon.
Yeah.
Because they considered Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16 like commercial failures, even though both of them have been some of the fastest selling Final Fantasy games to release.
Like those were hot off the presses.
Yeah.
Like, and like I mean, this is coming from someone who played it like when it came out and stuff. That was a popular game. That was huge, but because it's not this all-encompassing massive thing that everyone keeps expecting of their games now, it's suddenly a failure.
And I think,
even though it's still in top 10 best-selling games by month or by week.
I also think publishers fail to realize just how many fucking video games exist now.
Yeah.
Which is the other thing. It's the same with like movies and streaming services and stuff. It's like you don't have these, massive new shows, these massive new movies, because they're not going to TV, they're not going to cinema, they're going on a streaming platform, and the streaming platform's so diluted that it's hard to get that to pierce that larger audience margin.
Like I feel like I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. There was this discussion I heard from like, I don't know if it was like Brad Pitt or whatever, it was on like a podcast or whatever, but he sort of said that like the reason like a couple decades ago like you had all these like original like cool movies that like that studios were willing to try was because of DVD sales.
Yes.
Yeah.
DVD sales that went straight to like the companies and stuff, and when DVDs were huge, that supplemented like budgets and stuff. But because DVDs are dead, physical media is dying, despite some people trying to keep it alive.
That's us. Yep.
The budgets to like really supplement like these new original ideas just aren't happening, which is why partly the reason why studios are so handicapped and like trying to stay safe with known franchises, because they know that'll be a success. That's a guaranteed success.
It used to be that, I can't remember who said this, it may have actually been Brad Pitt, because I think I've seen this exact same thing. But someone else said this, not me, these aren't my words.
No plagiarism.
Movies used to have two lives. The one when it went into the cinema and it could have done massively fucking poorly, but the one that used to be the arms and legs was DVD, because you could put it on the shelf and it could be 5 years down the line and you've sold.
That's a sleeper hit.
It's a sleeper hit.
Like Donnie Darko was a movie that when it came out was terrible. Not terrible, but like not great at the box office, but that became
It's a cult classic.
Classic, because of those DVD sales, and it sold massively on DVD.
That's why we have the term cult classic, because things released onto home video and it found new audiences. Like Donnie Darko, and a lot of horror movies kind of lived and died by that. The art of the B movies gone. You don't get the schlocky horror films that I used to love watching, which were just here's this concept that one really big horror movie did. Now we're gonna do about 1,000 of them. Some of them actually scarier than the original concept, because a lot of them, you know, going into cinema, you're playing it a bit safer.
Yeah.
Like Paranormal Activity, very sanitized version of that idea, because I've seen some really fucked up versions of that. But yeah, so yeah,
but now that streaming comes out, like all the money is just being spread equally because you're just paying for that service, and all the money that the studios are going to get from just streaming are just going to go into those big guaranteed success movies that are going to end up failing because people are getting sick of them.
They're going to sell more. They're going to sell more $1 billion.
$3 billion. Sorry, in between
$2 million.
in between these like recording, like during the break, I looked at the fucking Craven poster that's just come out today at the time of recording, and it was just the top comment on that I forgot to mention to you guys was just like it got like way more votes than just the actual poster. Poster was just like a quote, a fake quote from like Sony execs that was just been like, the Spider-Man villain movies will continue until morale improves. Because that's a fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been talking a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Melina.
That's fine. I had my piece in the beginning.
You're just allowed to sit back
I'm
and
like,
relax.
well,
This
I'm
is
just
meant to
gonna
be
close
what
my
we're
eyes.
watching.
Let them go.
Yeah.
So yeah, you watched House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I was going all the way back.
Did
to
you
that.
have anything else?
Honestly, no, because the only other thing I've been watching is one I've only just started watching, and that's Veep.
Oh, okay.
How is that?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Oh, it's I mean, I've only watched like 4 episodes and 5, and then like 10 seasons.
Wow. Yeah, it's
Thank-
long.
But like, yeah, so far so good. I'm getting good the thick of it vibes, which I watched over the last year, and that's really good. Especially like if you were around at the time of like New Labour and like stuff, like when it was being made
Yeah.
and stuff, like very good. And Capaldi's fucking like the top in that show.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Like, I'd heavily recommend if you're not already.
I've seen the thick of it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's fine.
I like it.
I like it. Sometimes the comedy doesn't land
Yeah.
for me. But yeah, I've been wanting to watch Veep for years, but I just haven't got around to it.
Well,
This is your official recommendation.
Yeah.
yeah. I just figured it'd be good now. Because one, I was watching it, look at my mum, and my mum loved the thick of it and stuff, and we're like, what's something new we can watch? And I was like, you know what, I've wanted to try Veep for a while, so I'll try that. And because at the time of recording, it's an election year in America, and it feels fitting, seeing as it's a female vice president who's maybe in the news more often now. I wonder if this episode will come out so late that that election's happening.
It's coming out in September.
Okay,
Elections are November.
Yeah.
so we've got a few more months of fear.
Oh, it might come out like 2 weeks before the election. That's scary.
Fun. So, Michael, what did you watch?
Oh
What did
yeah,
you do?
I haven't gone yet, have I?
And you said you had a lot.
I have a lot.
We have
is
time.
it-
Let's go.
so-
Can I ask, is it Goji?
Yes, I embarked upon
A journey.
probably the most sanity testing thing I've done in a long time,
And I salute you.
which was
Yeah.
watching every single Godzilla movie.
All 30 what?
8,
38.
38 ever
I
made.
applaud you.
It was.
Over the course of like what, a month?
I did it in less than a month.
Yeah.
I did it in something like 3 weeks.
How?
Oh, just sheer fucking determination.
I mean, there were like days where we'd like have a call or we'd have a recording day, and then like a few hours later, I see on your Instagram 2 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
How did you just watch one?
Because, I
As
was.
someone who was sort of an outside observer to this, kinda, it felt like your pattern like eventually just became 1 in the morning, 1 at night.
Pretty much, yeah. When I was watching the Showa collection, it was a little bit different where, like, sometimes if there was, like, 3 movies on the disc, I'd watch all 3 of them that day. But otherwise, it kind of became 1 in the morning, 1 at night. So, that was, it was a ride.
I
I can imagine.
So I've made 2 lists out of it.
Oh, wow, you've
So-
actually ranked.
Yeah, if you go onto my Letterboxd, you'll see that I have a Godzilla-thon list, which is all 38 of them. So if you go into it and sort of show
Link in
it
the description.
by if you show it by like not posters, but like by a list you'll also be able to see I think you might be able to see my rating and then click onto the review. I'm not sure if that's maybe just because I'm logged in. I see that. But I also have a favourite Godzilla movies and a worst Godzilla movies. Yeah. So, do we want to start with the best or the worst?
Worst.
Yeah, let's go with the worst, because I want to leave on a positive note.
Yeah. Okay, so this has 11 movies in it. And 4 of them are from the original Showa era.
Okay.
2 of them are from the Millennium era. And then 4 of them are from the Reiwa, which is the current era, which is way more diverse in what we're getting, because that's where like the anime trilogy is. It's where we have Shen and -1, but we also have the legendary monster verse, which is so it's that was an insane watch, because I did not know what I was getting next.
Yeah, because like the Showa, Heisei, and Millennium era, that was all Toho.
Yes, yeah. And
except for maybe if you want to count Roland Emmerich.
Roland Emmerich's in here. That's sort of like a weird one where it's like it's not really part of anything. It kind of happened in between. So I put it in. Well, I watched it on my 4K, but I didn't know if I was going to be away at the time I was watching it, so I put it in my Millennium folder because it comes after Heisei. But yeah, so. I'll just go in the order they're in, which is release order. So it starts with King Kong versus Godzilla, which seems like a sure fucking fire.
Yeah. You think surely they'll be enjoyable enough.
But no, 2 out of 5 stars, so 4 out of 10. This was the 3rd one in my marathon.
Yeah, this was the 3rd one ever released.
Yeah, this was the 3rd Godzilla movie ever released. Yeah.
They got that synergy fast.
Yeah.
They were like, well, we've got the big monkey, and we got the big dinosaur.
We got our big lizard. They have big monkey.
What if we just made them fight each other?
I think it helps that I think King Kong was popular in Japan.
Yes. It's not great. It's not long, but it takes a long time to get to the point, and it's like so focused on like this TV company, or it's a pharmaceutical company that runs a TV station where they're like, we need better ratings, and at one point a person says King Kong versus Godzilla, and the CEO guy or whoever, the executive, walks past and goes, that's it.
Yup.
And I'm like, oh my god, we are 50 minutes into this movie.
50 minutes?
50 minutes in, yeah, something like that.
50 minutes of them. A Saturday special?
50 minutes of them trying to find King Kong on his island.
And how long is this movie, by the way?
90 minutes.
Oh my
So
god.
This is also after the first time they've encountered each other.
Oh, cool.
This is before, it's not entertaining. It's not fun.
Can I just say, by the way, this pharmaceutical company that owns a television station, this is the Umbrella Corporation in the 60s.
It kinda sounds like that, but way less competent.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, and then we've got Ebirah, Horror of the Deep. That's this was movie 7. So, you know, the Showa era was like rocky. Very rocky.
Yeah.
This was actually originally, the only reason this is bad, I want to say, is because it was written as a King Kong movie, but the agreement fell through, and so they very quickly made it into a Godzilla movie, pretty much just by Tipexing out King Kong and writing Godzilla over it, which means that Godzilla doesn't really act like Godzilla.
That's a shame.
Yeah, so it's not great. It's also, Ebirah's just a giant crab. Or lobster. Yeah, it's a lobster.
Yeah, it's a lobster thingy.
That's just not an interesting kaiju. It's just not that interesting.
It's just big lobster.
Yeah, just big lobster. Then we've got Son of Godzilla. The beginning of the era where, for some reason, Toho decided, let's target kids.
The very brief moment in time where they were like, let's take our giant radioactive lizard that originally started as a metaphor for nuclear devastation and make it a kids show.
Yes. Which,
you know, the kids love warfare these days.
The kids yearn for nuclear disaster. Just look at the Fallout series.
Yeah.
Which I wrote in my review here that it had promise at the start, and then Godzilla's son hatches and the rest of the movie just falls apart. Because Godzilla spends 75% of his time napping and letting his kid run rampant, just like any good dad at Christmas.
Oh, I was about to ask, is Godzilla mommy? Or is it?
Godzilla is mommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He has the aggressive nature of a dad.
But
There's
he
one
birthed
point
the
where-
egg.
Who laid the egg?
I
Yeah.
don't know. It was just on an island.
Egg
He
was
just turned
there.
up.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
As far as we know, that egg could have just popped out of the ground.
Yeah.
And just looks like him. I want you to know Melina, by the way, so you know what Godzilla looks
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
right?
Oh yeah, you better
Yeah.
show her.
Yeah, you know, big fuck off monster.
Yeah, big fucking
Yeah,
monster.
Yeah, just so you know, I want you to keep that image in mind.
Okay,
As you
okay.
look upon the son of Godzilla.
Is it like the baby from Eraserhead?
I think I constantly described him as like a popped tire, didn't I?
Yes. So I want you to what would you initially think the son of Godzilla would look like, just in your head?
I am literally.
Just him but smaller.
Yeah.
That is logical. That is safe.
That's
That
what
is
the
not-
Heisei era did.
That is
Yeah.
not what they did here.
Oh no. Why does he look like that?
My exact reaction when I met him.
Why is he a naked Ninja Turtle?
I said that. That's what I said. He's a rejected Ninja Turtle baby.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it. No.
Look at this boy.
Oh my god.
You're so devastated.
Like, that's how I can understand why people can't take certain movies seriously.
Yeah.
You see, you expected this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not what we got.
I think
I just showed them a picture of like Godzilla, but like a giant head and a small body.
Yeah.
I think you were maybe expecting something more like
Like skinnier
that?
would be okay.
that's just like Godzilla.
Yeah.
Post-production rebel. If you ever feel the urge to edit anything, and please put these images in on the video. I swear to God, the world needs to see Manila.
Or at least for the soundbite.
Yeah.
But by the way, yeah, Godzilla's son is called Manila.
Manila.
Like, isn't there a country?
I don't know.
Well, it's not spelled like that. It's spelled
Okay.
Minilla.
It's either Manila or Minya. I've heard
Minira.
Manilia. Manula.
The Japanese pronunciation's kind of weird.
Magnolia.
Minira.
Gabagool.
Gabagool.
I actually don't know what the. Oh, I get what the fucking Japanese is meant to be.
Oh, what?
Mini Gojira.
Oh, that makes sense.
Minira.
Manira.
Because Japanese has this weird thing of like taking the like if they're
of
if they're
course,
conjoining stuff, they take the last syllable.
Okay.
So Gojira.
Minira.
Mini Godzilla. Oh my
that realization was
God.
great to witness in real time, by the way, because I just saw you look at me, your eyes widen, and I could see the light bulb.
I was expecting it. I haven't paid my taxes.
Yeah.
I love that none of these movies even try and make that.
No,
Because in Son of Godzilla doesn't have a name.
I don't think the majority of people who know Godzilla, at least in the West, realize
No,
that.
which also makes sense for the English spelling with the two L's.
Yeah.
Mini La.
Manila. It's the mini lad.
He
It's the lad.
So yeah, and Son of Godzilla it doesn't have a name. He's just
Baby.
the small
son.
Godzilla,
Baby.
the baby.
He's
Which
child.
no, that's the Heisei era.
That's another one entirely.
Sorry.
Different character. But it's not until All Monsters Attack, which is the kids movie. It's
You think?
It is. Yeah, you wouldn't think with a title like that, but it is genuinely the child movie.
it is 70 minutes.
Oh.
It's awful.
Would you like to describe the plot very briefly?
It's pretty much Home Alone, but this kid gets kidnapped and has like multiple fever dreams where he can talk to Manila. And Manila can talk back.
Oh, okay.
And it does not sound like they dubbed in Manila's dialogue. It sounds like someone had a mic shoved into the costume.
I wanted to ask. Is it?
No. Full dialogue.
yeah,
full
actual
Japanese.
dialogue, full words.
So what's up, Johnny?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
They never talk ever again in any other movie.
No.
It's just this one.
this is one special.
Actually,
kid.
before this, or was it?
He is a very special kid.
There was another movie where there was like dialogue bubbles for Anguirus and
Was that,
Godzilla.
Was that Smog Monster or?
I think that was that Ibira? No, I don't think that was Ibira. I don't think that was not Ibira. Hedorah.
Yeah. Also, heads up, I might call these movies by different names because I'm used to like what the Americans would lay on. Because like Ebera, Monster of the Deep was retitled in the West for a long time until like recently, I guess. Godzilla versus the Sea Monster.
Yeah.
And Hebera, I think what you were talking about was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster.
Yeah. Invasion of Astro Monster had a different name as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like Monster Zero.
Yeah, that's which actually is a title that makes sense.
Which sometimes I accidentally called Monster X, which I think was actually something else.
I think it's a different thing.
And All Monsters Attack was in the West called Godzilla's Revenge.
That's right.
Which makes even less sense.
But yeah, so I gave All Monsters Attack half a star.
Wow.
So 2 out of 10. That's bad. It's fucking bad. I'll read what I wrote at the end of my review. A movie truly aimed at kids by deeply misunderstanding what kids find awesome about a giant radioactive lizard that shoots nuclear fire out of its mouth.
Yeah.
You don't need to target it at kids. It already fucking appeals to them by nature.
Exactly. It's Godzilla.
Yeah.
Just have him stomp on a few cool things. Like, oh my god, you just stomped on a car. And
Yeah.
kids will be like, yes.
Yeah. Vibrating with excitement.
Just like violently excited.
Then we have Godzilla 1998, directed by Roland Emmerich.
This is not a Godzilla movie.
This is not a Godzilla movie, no.
It has the name, but it has nothing else to do
No,
with Godzilla.
I wrote in my review, there's two lenses to view this movie through. The first is as a Godzilla movie, and the other is a Roland Emmerich movie, and quite frankly, on both, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's not a good Godzilla movie, because it's not a Godzilla movie. It has the name, but it's not Godzilla. And then as a Roland Emmerich movie, oh my fucking god, it's bad. Roland Emmerich movies carry on star power. You need good actors. You need charismatic people who can bounce off of each other and like really bring like that.
Like Independence Day had like
cheesiness.
Will Smith and like Jeff Goldblum and stuff. Melina, what do you think Godzilla 1998 has in its star power?
Who do you think's in it?
1998. My mind's like Brendan Fraser.
That
would be
would have
so
been
good.
so much better.
That would be so good.
So much better.
No, I'm trying to think uncharismatic.
Yeah,
90s
just the worst
actor.
choice from the 80s and 90s.
Hulk Hogan.
Wow, no, again, that would have been a better movie.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
No,
But
I want to know
who
who is it?
Matthew Broderick.
Who's that?
Is this
War Games.
what? Oh my god,
You've
no,
seen him.
I'll show you a picture of him.
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller's Day Out.
You'll know him.
I haven't seen that movie.
Trust me, you'll see him somewhere.
Well, I hope so at this point.
Oh, you got it?
Oh,
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah.
Maybe the
Yeah.
producers. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know
Yeah,
what. I'm surprised I know that, to be honest. But
I was like, Morrison's when you know producers.
I dabble.
He plays a scientist,
I mean,
and he's not good at it. He
He's
cannot
terrible.
deliver his lines. He has no confidence to do so. Because there's a moment where they're in like a plane and they're like, following the trail of this mysterious monster. It turns out to be Godzilla.
what?
And well, in this universe, they don't know. This is a reboot.
Yeah.
And so they're sitting there and they're talking about this, and he from the back, because they're all having a conversation at a table.
Yeah.
He just goes, "What about the radiation?"
What?
What?
What about it?
I'm like, oh, Matthew, you couldn't have done that again?
Yeah.
You want to do a second take?
Just one more take, please.
Just one more for like safety.
What about the radiation?
It's so stilted. It's so awkward.
You didn't see me awkwardly zoom in.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen him do characters that are like fruitier, and I'm like, that's his niche.
Yeah.
It's a
I don't
nice
think
little niche.
He's good in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah,
He's good in War Games. I've seen him in a couple other things as well, I think.
Yeah, he's not a bad actor.
He's not a bad actor. He's
No.
just not
Not for that.
not for
I
this.
saw him recently in Only Murders in the Building because he makes a cameo in that,
okay.
which was surprised the fuck out of me. 'Cause I didn't expect to see him anything past like the 90s. But he's in that and he does a surprisingly good job.
He is a good actor.
Yeah.
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he do?
It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie. Roland Emmerich's not actually that good a director.
But sir, what about the radiation?
Yeah, the radiation. I'm also going to bring something up that I can't let exit my mind. So, To give you an idea on what Godzilla looks like in this movie, Melina.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Exactly.
That is a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, no, I was about to say that.
But
No. In this movie, he's a radioactive iguana.
Iguana. We're going iguana.
yes, so Jurassic Park was big at this
Yes.
point, and that's why it looks like a dinosaur, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
An
but-
actual dinosaur.
How do they justify that?
I don't.
No.
Like,
they're-
at least in the original Godzilla canon, which I don't think most people are actually going to know this, but like Godzilla is a prehistoric creature that
I
gets
always
hit by
assumed.
radiation. So
Yeah.
he's already big. It's just that he
Yeah.
he is mutated by the radiation.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much immune to everything.
Yeah. Because like,
Um,
I'm not sure if like the original movie like really delves on it, but there is like maybe it's the American like re-edit from that movie that like made us think that like the bomb just created it, just created
Yeah.
Godzilla like fully formed and no like this prehistoric thing. But no, the Godzillasaurus is a thing.
Yeah, well that comes later. In this one, it's just sort of like it's some sort of prehistoric race.
Yeah.
So like in the rest of the Showa era after the first movie, it's like another one
Yeah.
that was there that got like disturbed by the
Yeah.
bomb.
Because the original one died in the original.
The original one
movie.
died in the original movie.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Godzilla directed by Roland Emmerich, fucking terrible movie.
I wanna
Someone
just
looked at that and was like, "I'm an iguana expert. That's an iguana."
There's an anecdote
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I was
okay,
gonna
okay.
bring this up.
that hold on, I'll grab it from my review.
I was gonna bring that up, and I want to bring up one other point in this movie that I find fucking hilarious, and the fact that like they're in New York.
Yes.
for
As you are, yeah.
because why not?
Yeah.
When in Rome, but
it makes sense to a
Yeah.
degree. Like if you're doing an American adaptation,
You
New
do it
York.
in-
could do it in
Yeah.
New York. That makes sense, but like. The fact is, a big plot point in the movie is that Godzilla, they keep losing track of him,
Yeah.
and that he keeps disappearing.
In New York.
Yes,
In New York.
and there is genuinely a line where is it Matthew Broderick that says it?
I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me the line first.
The line is basically like we brought him to New York City, the perfect place to hide.
Oh yeah, that is Matthew Broderick.
He's in the biggest city in the world. He's got plenty to hide here. Like they genuinely
I
believe
see him
that.
behind a tree in like Bryant Park, which is very small.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my instant reaction whenever I hear that line is he's just hiding behind a building, just like
This massive iguana manages to lay so many eggs in no, Fenway's Boston. That's the end of King of the Monsters.
Central Park.
It's the baseball stadium, I think.
Madison Square
yeah,
Garden,
Madison Square Gardens.
Okay.
Manages to lay
which was also featured in a Lupin.
Lupin,
movie.
yeah.
like 300 eggs.
Oh my god!
And no one notices for the
No.
entire movie.
Is it overflowing out of the stadium?
They hatch and start running out in the streets, and still the army does not believe
can't
them when
find
they
them.
get in contact with them.
He's hiding too well. He's too sneaky.
Because I'm like, well, yeah, there's many places to hide in, or the subway. But I'm like, he couldn't fucking fit if he tried.
Yeah. No, New York City, perfect place to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's only got
Swim
like
down the Hudson, you're fine.
it's only got 8 million eyes.
It's only the city that never fucking sleeps,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which actually is how it's introduced in the movie. The location card says the city that never sleeps.
This is literally like I brought this up and I can't believe I'm bringing this up again. But like the Doctor Who episode with the Weeping Angels in New York,
Oh,
where
yeah.
like they have the Weeping Angels like take over the Statue of Liberty, and somehow nobody looks at it, so it walks across the city, even though everyone's looking at the fucking Statue of
Yeah.
Liberty.
First
at
of all,
some
there's
point.
always so many fucking tourists there.
Yeah.
That would have immediately. There's so much security there. There's almost a museum on that tiny island.
Yeah.
No one thought, oh shit.
Yeah, no.
Oh, cool.
Too sneaky.
But back to the whole anecdote,
anecdote,
thing.
sorry.
So there's this anecdote. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how true it is. But when Emmerich was brought on board, he walked into a meeting with Toho execs and showed them the design. They were so stunned they had to call the meeting and come back later after processing what they were looking at. It was so different they didn't even know where to begin offering notes. And if this is true, it makes you question, why did Emmerich want to make a Godzilla movie in the first place? If he so
name.
clearly did not like nor care about the legacy.
The name.
The name.
You
Yeah.
just wanted the
No,
name.
100%.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Because it was someone else who was originally on board to direct, and it was like a way different concept, way different design.
They were gonna have another monster in the fight.
They're gonna have another monster, and then I think they dropped out, or like there wasn't confidence in the director, his name at least.
Okay.
And Roland Emmerich caught wind and came in and asked him to like fucking double the budget, and make one of his movies. So you know,
just with the name, because that's a cool name.
yeah.
To which perfect response, Toho then added that monster into their own canon.
Yeah.
Took away the name Godzilla, just named it Zilla,
Yeah.
and had actual Godzilla
beat the
Killing
shit out of him.
Yeah, no, fair. I would do the same.
Yeah.
Be like, you fucked it up. I'm gonna eat it.
No, doesn't eat it. Smacks it into fucking Sydney.
Yeah,
Opera
the Sydney
House and
Opera
blasts
House.
it.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Actually. I like that. Yeah, nice.
It's funny though. They looked at 98 and went, "You fucked it up.
Let me fuck it up.
Now let us fuck it up."
Yeah, it's our turn to fuck it up.
They were so at the end of the Heisei era, they were gonna like take a break until at least like the mid 2000s because originally the plan for the American adaptation was to have a trilogy, and then that didn't happen, and they went, "Fuck it, let's make another one."
And slightly added context, the end of the Heisei era literally has Godzilla dying
Yes, yeah,
in a big dramatic thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so they come back with Godzilla 2000 Millennium, which is just fucking boring. Because any of the reboots typically like rehash the idea that like the original Godzilla died, and then this is now a new one turning up to terrorize people again.
Yeah.
And so it like almost always kind of comes back to the root of like Godzilla is like a nuclear allegory and stuff like that. Not Millennium. Millennium has a weird aluminium Dorito that tries to hack the Earth.
Bill Cipher?
And then Godzilla's barely in it. It's weird. It's
It's
not,
all about the Dorito.
It's all about the Dorito. And then Godzilla shows up and like
Grabs the Dorito, flings it out.
well, the Dorito kind of morphs into a weird creature at the end.
Okay, so it's Orga.
Yeah, Orga.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Orga's the pilot. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I was trying to remember. It's like, is this the one with Orga?
Yeah, this is the one with Orga. Which then tries to eat Godzilla.
Nom nom nom.
And the worst thing you can try and do is eat Godzilla because that's just asking for atomic breath straight down your throat.
Like it tries to eat him like a snake. Like,
Yeah.
like
whole
Yeah.
just.
And then while Godzilla's like head is like stuck in his mouth, you can practically tell that Godzilla's thinking, well, I know what to do here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can just imagine looking around like, really? Am I really my guy?
Dude, you're not gonna believe what this just gave me.
You don't even know the lore, my guy.
Yeah, so Millennium's not great. Then we got Mega Gearus, which is the movie that immediately follows this. Which
It was
is
not
just,
a great few years for Godzilla.
No, it's a weird movie. It's not well written. I don't want to. I don't know. My review's really long for this one.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how to pick on it like in pieces to sort of like. It's like it leads you down so many different ideas that like it doesn't make sense. Like there's part where it's like, oh, Godzilla's, we've switched from nuclear energy and electricity because that's what Godzilla is after. He shows up and he feeds on that. So we're switching to plasma energy. And then at the end of the movie it's like, but he also is hunting the plasma energy, and I'm like, but he's done fucking nothing this whole movie. What do you mean?
Oh, he will. No, he will.
I think this is the one where they try to kill him with the
black holes?
Yeah.
They have a black hole gun.
Well, doesn't every good scientist have one?
Only if you're allowed to.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think the Geneva Conventions have a thing against black hole guns.
Really?
Probably.
Oh yeah, there it is. At the end, they kill Goji, or will confine him in a black hole. Brackets, not even remotely close to how that works, by the way.
Yep.
Only to bring him back as if nothing happened in a post-credit scene.
I like that this movie treats black holes like the Phantom Zone in Superman.
Yeah, I'm like imagining it like a Mario pipe, where he goes down and then suddenly, whip, I'm like, hey!
They have a satellite that fires a black hole from space towards Godzilla, and then that somehow, yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's totally
They
how
try
that
it
works.
once earlier, and it doesn't work. So at the end of the movie,
So surely it must
they
work.
try it again.
Like, you never know.
Second time's the charm.
Yeah. Not a good movie. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's bad.
And then that's the end of like. There's no bad movies in the Heisei era, I want to add, because we jumped from Showa to 98, so we skipped the whole Heisei. Heisei doesn't have any bad movies. Millennium has 2 duds, and now we're into the Reiwa, which is the modern era, and that's where we have the anime trilogy, which is just such a nothing trilogy. It's like watching an act play out over 90 minutes. So like no movie has like its one single like arc and storyline that it follows and builds towards like a whole story. It's like the one movie serves the purpose of
An act.
It's The Hobbit.
They literally kill
The Hobbit tries. It fails, but it tries.
Yeah,
That's true.
So yeah, they have to leave Earth because Godzilla has shown up and is fucking everything up, along with 2 alien races that appeared, by the way. Like,
I don't know where.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then they're looking for a new planet and decide, fuck it, let's go back to Earth because 1,000 years have passed.
Surely
by
he's
the time
gone.
by the time we jump. So for them, it's been like 20 years, but because of light speed travel and stuff.
Oh yeah. They're like, don't worry about it. We did the math. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
So they're
Science
like,
shit.
yeah, he'll be dead.
Surely.
They jump back and they're like, oh no, it's more like 10,000 years. Surely he's dead.
Absolutely dead.
Oh
Then
yeah.
they land on the planet and they're like, no, it's 20,000. And I'm like, every time you bring this up, it's getting exponentially larger.
And Godzilla's getting more and more dead, clearly.
Godzilla's getting more and more dead. No, they find another Godzilla. But also the planet's adapted to be
Godzilla.
a Godzilla. Because like even the plants have traits of Godzilla. Like they can't cut them. Which seems interesting. It's not. It
Yeah,
never
that
really gets
sounds like
brought up.
interesting.
It's barely brought up. So they execute this plan to kill Godzilla because the main character's figured it out. He knows how to kill him, and they execute it. Godzilla dies. Then at the end of the movie, there's a planet-sized Godzilla, like the biggest Godzilla in canon so far. Is
Still fucks with me.
what was it? 300 meters, 900
Yeah.
feet, something like that. Like so large that I'm like, I'm sorry, I can.
Yeah.
Like, I can suspend disbelief and you know,
Yeah.
I'm on board with all the Godzilla movies, but I'm sorry, this one is so laughably large, I can't imagine it being able to sustain its own weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the planet sustain its own
Because
weight.
that's a lot of gravity weighing down
Yeah.
on you.
That thing's gonna snap its own neck just by falling.
Yeah. Like, they think it's a mountain for most of the movie until it gets up.
It's like, good nap.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second movie is centered around them finding Mechagodzilla, which is, you know, like a robot built to fight Godzilla usually in canon, which was built by one of the alien races, and it turns out the technology behind it has been absorbing materials this whole time and is now a city. So they're in a city called Mechagodzilla City.
What the fuck?
And they try to build defenses to fight Godzilla. Not Mechagodzilla, just other defenses. And essentially try and execute the same plan that they did at the end of the first movie on the smaller Godzilla, on the larger Godzilla. And then they don't beat him.
No.
No shit.
And so then the movie ends, and then we have the third movie where one of the other races, so both of them are antagonistic apparently.
Cool.
Fantastic.
One of them has a religious cult that actually worships Ghidorah, one of the like antagonists of Godzilla, another kaiju. Except in this one, he's not a 3-headed dragon monster. He is a electric eel thing that comes out of portals, but is also from a higher dimension.
I could have guessed that one.
So they
Saw
summon him
that
in.
coming from a mile away.
You did not tell me that this is what happened, I think.
So
What the fuck is this shit?
So he's summoned from like black hole portal things in the sky, comes down and can munch on Godzilla, but Godzilla can't hit him because there's someone standing on a mountain with a thing in their eye that lets Ghidorah attack Godzilla, but not Godzilla attack him. And so the main character goes and confronts this guy who is also kind of his best friend, And eventually he, like, I don't think he kills him. I think he just takes, like, the coin out of his eye, or he overcomes Ghidorah as well. I don't fucking know. It's weird. And then Ghidorah, like, becomes malleable, or, like, tangible in our universe.
He becomes
so
existent.
Godzilla can attack him, but also he starts disappearing because he's not bound by our laws of... What?
What the fuck's going on?
I don't want to know.
No, this is 3 movies. This is like fucking...
This is the conclusion.
This is like 4.5 hours of my life. Man, it's bad. They're bad. They're really bad. Like I gave all of them 5 out of 10 because like I said in another episode where I was like the worst, and this is where I said this to Shaun, is the worst I can give a movie is 5 out of 10 because well done, you did not make me feel a single thing.
Yeah.
I went through all of these with no response, no emotional response, no like moment of going, oh, that was cool. It's just like information and stuff is happening and it's going into my brain.
Taking in.
For context again, from like my perspective, you've like given me some sort of comment or like not running commentary, but just like some sort of like comments while you're watching the other ones. For every one of these movies, you did not say shit to me until suddenly I just get the notification of like your review in the Discord server and I'm like, oh, you really don't like these ones if you're just not saying anything while watching them.
Yeah.
Like you're just dead silent, like Homelander looking at like the cinema screen while you're watching them.
I think I sent that in response to the end of the movie, actually, the end of the third one. But yeah, then we end the worst Godzilla movies. I'm sorry, I'm taking up a lot of time, actually. With it's Godzilla, Kong, The New Empire, the most recent one.
Ah, yes.
Which is one of the MonsterVerse American movies. Oh, I really hope that like this is not the trend now, where it's like every Godzilla movie is now a Kong movie as well, or at least every Kong movie is not a Godzilla movie too, because this is a Kong film. Godzilla's barely in it. In fact, most of the time he's like fucking training to go Super Saiyan. Because he absorbs more energy. I can't remember how. I think he attacks a nuclear reactor in France. That's what it is.
Yum, 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 yum.
And they're like,
that's what he does.
Yeah, and then they're like, fuck it, send in the drones. And I'm like, guys, you know that's not gonna fucking do shit. Also, he sleeps in the Colosseum in Rome, by the way, for something.
That is adorable.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense because I think he's bigger than the Colosseum. I don't think he would logically fit, at least not by the bounds of like the size
like
he's been set up to be.
To get him to fit in. It is the picture is adorable for like the first 5 seconds though.
And then he's like still not enough, and so he goes to Antarctica where there's another kaiju that he kills and absorbs its power, and he basically goes Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, because by the time you see him later, he's not like just grey, or because he's grey in this movie for some reason. He's not like kind of darkish black like normal. He's like light grey with pink highlight tips on his dorsal fins.
Queen.
Because normally his like power up look is blue for like his atomic breath and stuff, and so like running up his dorsal fins it goes blue. This one is pink and his eyes glow pink. He literally, and that's like what happens to Goku in Battle of the Gods. He goes Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Slay.
I don't, and it's not a great movie because it's kind of boring. There's a lot of moments or a lot of like a section of it where it's like it feels like you're watching a nature documentary happening in Hollow Earth, because the lore of the MonsterVerse is Hollow Earth exists, and that's where Kong now lives. It's just not that entertaining. Like I've always kind of said, there's 2 types of Godzilla movies, and that's the ones where it's like it wants to make you think, it wants to make you like reflect on what humanity's role in nature is, and like how we've affected the world and what it means to unleash the power of nuclear energy. And then there's ones where it's just purely about entertainment. It's about 2
big
monsters.
Monster.
It's WWE but with giant monsters.
Yeah, essentially. And like that's fine, but you gotta have that be entertaining.
Yeah.
And for Godzilla Kong, it's not. It's really not. So yeah, that's my worst movies from Godzilla. Now let's get into the good ones. Of course we got the original.
Yeah, of course, it's gotta be in there.
There's no other film in the franchise like it. It's purely this serious drama about like Japan suffering in the wake of Hiroshima and
Yeah.
and Nagasaki.
I remember because I watched this like a few years ago, and like I remember thinking at some points that like it felt like an actual documentary from the time.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla just came in, would just come in.
Because I think it's good, they weren't franchise bound, so they weren't we gotta be on the same level as this. They were like, we just want to create this.
Yeah, because it was 1954, so
yeah. I mean, the bombings that had happened like only 9 years beforehand.
Yep.
It's still fresh.
They were, still in a transitory period, I would say. Like, America had pulled out 2 years before, but this was still them transitioning from an imperialistic nation hell-bent on invasion and horrific war crimes to what's a very passive, docile nation in comparison.
Very now staunchly very pacifist.
And very sort of like anti-nuclear. I mean, they've embraced nuclear energy, which is a lot to do with American propaganda, I want to say. But
whole side note.
Yeah, you just get it, just jumping past that.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. If you want to know a bit more about it, read the book Melting Sun. It's just about it's about Fukushima, but it covers the whole of Japan's history with energy and nuclear energy and war and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. The whole first 2 or 3 hours on the audiobook is about that build up to where they were, and it goes into what happened with the wake of Nagasaki and stuff like that. So it's
for the context.
Yeah, for the context. So then we jump forward a little bit to movie. Oh, fuck, if I can open my review and not just the movie page. The fifth one, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. It's a three-headed monster.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always have a joke line on my reviews, so if anyone reads these on Letterboxd, this one, it's a radioactive lizard, a giant prehistoric bird, and a baby moth walking into a bar. And that's it.
Nice.
Yep. And then they fight a giant three-headed dragon thing. Yeah.
Cool.
This isn't the one with aliens, it's the one with the James Bond plot. Which is so fun.
Yeah.
So fun. Then we got Destroy All Monsters, which is the one with aliens, I think.
I think so, yeah. That's the one that takes place in the future. Which was the future of 1999.
Oh,
no, that's Invasion of Astro Monsters. So that's the next movie.
Oh, okay.
But Destroy All Monsters, I don't think is an alien movie.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't have it mentioned in the review. Oh, fun, bombastic sci-fi story. So it probably does have aliens.
Yeah.
They probably show. I think that's the one. No, that's Invasion of Astro Monster. I can't remember what happens in Destroy All Monsters. It's fun. It's a lot of kaiju on screen at the same time. So that's.
From what I know of Destroy All Monsters, that's for the 60s. That was the one that was the big finale planned at the time.
Yeah.
Where they get all the monsters that they had made up until that point, or as much as they could anyway. It just happened. Fight.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, I remember what this one is now. This is where they've managed to confine all the monsters to Monsterland or Monster Island, I think it's called in the Criterion subtitles. And then it's the she aliens known as Kilax unleash the monsters on the world. Yeah, I don't really remember. it was fun.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Then you good?
Sorry, I've just got a notification.
Okay.
It was just a news thing.
Fair enough. Then we got Godzilla vs. Hedorah. We're jumping forward to movie 11. This was the one that tried to be most serious again. It's still this is after the period where they were aiming for kids as well.
Yeah.
This was the return to form.
Yeah, there was still a little bit of them trying to appeal to kids in the human storyline, but I think it balances out well enough with what they're trying to achieve. Because this one's very much about pollution and climate change and stuff like that, and I was watching it going, oh, that's sadly still very relevant.
This one was from the 70s.
This was 1971. It's actually the one with the best shot kaiju scenes up until that point, because a lot of them before that they were all just shot it's midday. All of them have the same lighting, whereas here it was a lot of them were shot at night. A lot of them had contrast and actual pointed lighting and stuff like that, whereas which was impressive for the 70s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Hedorah. That's the end of the Heisei era. Then not Heisei era, Showa era. Now we jump into Heisei, where we got Return of Godzilla, which is the first movie in that one, where they return to Godzilla being like an antagonistic nuclear force, and I think that's really cool. Because they kind of played with the idea of the Cold War at the time, and the actual adoption of nuclear energy and what that means for Japan as a nation. So it's quite interesting. It's got a little bit of the sci-fi elements that would come in later in the Showa era, where like the USSR and America both have satellites with nuclear missiles attached to it, which was a real fear at the time. But it's just not even plausible.
No.
But yeah.
Just as like a little side note, just to like get this out of the way. Each era has its own canon.
Yeah. So yeah, each one kind of resets. Except Reiwa. Reiwa kind of is always doing its own thing.
Yeah, it's always like a new sort of story, I guess. But like, the main thing with like Heisei, for like, the reason it's called Return of Godzilla in this one is because it's only just following on from the 1954 original.
The original.
Ignores all the sequels in the Showa era.
Then we got like the last three of that era: Mechagodzilla 2, Space Godzilla, and Destroyer. Mechagodzilla 2 in the original Japanese title has not got the 2. It's just to distinguish it from the original versus Mechagodzilla from the Showa era. It like essentially completely resets the idea of Mechagodzilla, where it's like it's built by humans to fight Mechagodzilla out of the corpse of Mecha King Ghidorah, which is the whole thing that happened in Versus King Ghidorah, which is not that great a movie. It's very convoluted. It's essentially a rewrite of Invasion of Astro Monster, but like as humans from the future, and they wanna get rid of Godzilla, but it turns out they replace him with King Ghidorah so they can take over the past and destroy Japan. And it's all very...
you would have lost me even if they explained it.
I watched it and I was like, oh, what the fuck is happening?
And there's and for that one there's a weird sort of sentiment of Japanese nationalism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been like imperial and
yeah. It gets really weird.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that's not fantastic.
But Mechagodzilla 2 kind of only falls off from that by like having Mechagodzilla built out of like the tech from Mecha King Ghidorah, so like it's cool. It's just cool. That's it.
It's a cool movie.
Space Godzilla. I mean, it's Godzilla from space.
Hell yeah!
You have Godzilla on Earth, and then in space you have Godzilla born from a black hole, and he's evil, and he has crystals on his back.
Yes, because some Godzilla cells got sent into space at some point
from a giant plant monster. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, and then got sent through a black hole, and it mutated and became a big crystal Godzilla thing, and then he came to Earth to try and kill Godzilla.
Or it was Mothra that did it as well.
Or Mothra. I think it's Biollante though.
Yeah.
I think it was Biollante.
Space Godzilla kidnaps actual Godzilla's son, and that's just a dick move.
Yeah, because Godzilla's son comes back up again.
They give him a slightly design,
but he has that
did
design.
You watch all of these?
He has that design I showed you, where he's
the cute one.
The cute one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He turns up in the movie before that. I think. Was it? I don't know. He shows up in another one where he's baby Godzilla.
Okay.
And this one he's. I can't remember. It goes through like baby Godzilla, something else, and then Godzilla Jr. And Godzilla Jr. is just a smaller version.
Is this one baby Godzilla?
That's baby Godzilla, the fucking weird looking one. He's really weird in motion though.
Look at this little shit. Sorry.
Yeah, so he gets kidnapped in that movie, but it's fun. It's just, it's Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, come on.
Yeah.
Then we got Destroyer, which is the end of the Heisei era, which is legitimately one of the best ones. It's basically Godzilla has like consumed so much nuclear energy that he's beginning to melt down and die.
Ooh.
And he's become Burning Godzilla, so his suit design is incredible. It's like it's flaked with red, where like he's starting to literally like fall apart, and the energy's like coming out of him. And
it's
then
a cool design, by the way.
Yeah, and Destroyer. How did Destroyer come about again? He's from a crustacean thing that was under the earth, and it was created by when the original Godzilla was killed, it was a thing called the Oxygen Destroyer.
Yes.
And so obviously creatures before oxygen was like a thing on the planet. They lived through other means.
Yeah.
And so it, on the like layer of Earth where like a small thing from prehistoric times was there, got disturbed and brought up, and because there was no oxygen, began to like grow. And so it mutated as well. And eventually grew into Destroyer, which is just this big. I don't know if you've got the design up there.
I've got it right here. I also want to state, by the way, his name isn't Destroyer. Like, I know you're not saying Destroyer, but it sounds like Destroyer if you don't know. It's Destroyer.
Yeah.
Destroyer?
It's just the Japanese pronunciation of Destroyer.
Yeah, that's the official name.
Yeah.
Cool design, by the way. That's Kaiju Satan.
Yeah. And so like he's you know, I guess the counter-revolutionary idea, and he's trying to, you know, destroy
Godzilla.
humanity and Godzilla. And it ends with like a genuinely really well done moment where like he's killed Destroyer, and now he's like melting down, and they have to try and like stop him from like blowing up. And it's shot so well, like, and it's got this beautiful music where I was like sitting there, I'm like, I am actually crying over Godzilla. Like, that's insane. And none of the other movies have managed to do anything like that. It's like, it's a really special one. And I don't know if that's the general sentiment of the fan base, but to me anyway.
I heard it was received pretty well. But...
and then we jump to the Millennium Era, which is overall pretty fucking bad, except for some of the last movies, which is against Mechagodzilla, which is another versus Mechagodzilla. It's, you know, it's cool.
It's cool. Yeah. The fight's cool.
My
versus Kiryu from Yakuza.
Yeah, they call him Kiryu in this project because he's another government-backed project thing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we can't call him Mechagodzilla. We gotta call him Kiryu.
He gets his own little name.
He gets his own name.
It's cute. He's also the best Mechagodzilla design.
Oh yeah, the Mechagodzilla design in this one's so fucking cool. My joke tagline in this one is, "If in doubt, bring Mechagoji out," and that's you know all you need to say. Final Wars, which is the last movie of...
That one's insane.
Oh my god. So this is the last movie of the Millennium Era, and it was like the last movie for, what, a decade? Yeah, until the 2014 one came out by Gareth Edwards. And it is fucking batshit insane. So every... Yes.
Good batshit.
It's an X-Men movie with Godzilla.
Yeah. So every era until the Millennium Era was like, had like its own continuity.
Yeah.
The Millennium Era, almost every movie was a reboot.
Yeah.
There's no sense of continuity. So you go into Final Wars and you're not prepped
you
for
have no
any
idea.
of the shit that happens.
You don't know what's gonna go happen. You don't know what's gonna happen.
The Matrix had hit Japan. The X-Men had clearly come out. There's just so many other influences on it. It's like, it is insane. It's like
Jackie Chan movies.
Jackie Chan movies. Oh, definitely the Hong Kong, like, you know, martial arts films for sure were really influential in this. And it's like
like a revival.
The humans have developed a mutation, and so I can't remember what they're called in the movie. I think they're just called mutants. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And so they're like training, and they're training to take down kaijus. And then the kaijus turn up, and then aliens turn up. It's an alien race from one of the other older movies called the Exilians.
Yeah.
And they show up, and you're like, oh, you're fucking evil. You're clearly evil. But
you're not good guys.
But they're like, we will take all the kaiju away. It turns out they brought the kaiju in the first place.
Well, who could have foreseen this?
Yeah.
And so, at the beginning of the movie, they had like put Godzilla asleep under ice and like had sealed him away. And then eventually in the movie, it's like, it turns out that the mutated humans are like part Exilian, and so they can be controlled by the Exilians, and so they turn against everyone, and so an all-out war breaks out between humanity and the Zillions. And so like the remaining faction take a ship and head towards Antarctica or wherever it is, the South Pole or something, to wake up Godzilla. And then Godzilla goes on a rampage, taking down like every kaiju he's ever faced before. He goes up against Ebirah, he goes up against Zilla. That's where that joke thing comes, where he's like, Zilla turns up and you just fucking whacks him at the Sydney Opera House.
And blast him to shit.
Gigan comes back from a previous movie and then goes through like a whole redesign where he's got like fucking chainsaw hands instead of blades.
Chainsaw Kaiju.
it's just batshit insane. There's so many incredibly funny lines of dialogue that are not meant to be funny, but are just, amazing. It's like, there's a part early in the movie where, like, the kaijus are rampaging and this, mutant squad take down Ebura, and one of the guys is about to blow off Ebura's eye. And in full English, this very Japanese man, in full English, just goes, "Sorry, I'm a vegetarian."
What the fuck?
And then there's a character who only speaks English because he's played by an American actor. And in the whole movie, if you're watching it in Japanese, every other character is speaking Japanese but can miraculously understand him, and he can understand them too.
Yeah.
There's no translation process going on.
Perfect.
It's incredible.
It's his mutant power.
Yeah. And when they like reawaken Godzilla, this guy, he, like, calls the Exilian leader guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "There's two things you need to know about Earth. No, there's two things you don't know about Earth. One of them is me, and the other one is Godzilla."
This is a Godzilla movie. There is also an X-Men movie. There's also a Power Rangers movie.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
not
God.
like... my review started with, I couldn't tell you if this is good or if it's so bad it's good.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those movies.
Yeah.
It's, batshit insane. Then we get into the Reiwa era where we've got Godzilla 2014, which I did not expect to go into giving a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Because I don't think the general consensus is that it's that good. It's like...
It's
I feel like the
mixed
general
from what I've heard.
Yeah,
It's
it's kind of
like fine, maybe for like Godzilla fans and stuff. But usually the complaint is that there's too much human story and not enough Goji.
Which is always so funny to me when I rewatch it, because I'm like, it's dramatic tension.
Yeah, like the original 54 movie didn't have much Godzilla in it either.
And I really don't think people seem to understand it. Like, they're establishing a much larger sense of scale for this thing than any other movie. Like, every time we see Godzilla up until a certain point in the film, it's like you're just seeing like his foot pass a window, and you're getting that sense of just how immensely large he is, and like how weighty everything is behind that. And then it's not until like maybe halfway through the movie that you finally have this full reveal of him, and it's like, oh,
Holy
wow,
shit,
yeah. Especially because, our American design beforehand looked like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing like this incredibly well done design. And people also complain about it being too dark, which if you're watching it on streaming, I think there is something fucked up about the brightness on it. But like, oh my god, Gareth Edwards, man, just incredible filmmaker. The film looks incredible. Shot phenomenally, and like having that sense of like darkness around it, like again, it brings in that kind of more horror element that something of this unimaginable scale could have. So like the first half of the film's like, hold on, I wrote it in the review somewhere. I can't remember. The first act takes inspiration from 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and Fukushima, where it's like, all those nuclear disasters that we've experienced throughout, human history, like very much kind of taking, I'd say cues from Fukushima and Chernobyl directly, where like it opens with Bryan Cranston's character working at a power plant, and then like that power plant gets attacked by something. And for most of the movie, it makes you think it's Godzilla. It's not. It's a different creature. And then the second act is like all about like natural disasters and stuff like that. Like there's all the floods, tsunamis, and earthquakes and stuff. Because like that's what these creatures bring by just existing.
Yeah.
The way they move causes a flood or a tsunami or an earthquake. And you're like seeing families displaced and people dying, people being separated, people being, just traumatized by all of this. And I think that's really great. Like, the human drama is not great once Bryan Cranston character dies, because unfortunately, is it Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yeah.
He's he can't carry the movie on his back, unfortunately.
And Elizabeth Olsen's
in it, but not by much, unfortunately. And I don't think she's given a lot to work with, really, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie far outclasses that for me to, like,
Okay.
Yeah. It's, great movie. Honestly, did not expect to give it a 10 out of 10 when I watched it.
How long into the movie does Bryan Cranston die?
40 minutes, I think.
Okay.
It's like a 2-hour movie, 2 or 10 minutes or something like that.
Okay. I remember, for some reason, I remember him dying like 10 minutes in.
No, not quite that early. It takes quite a long time to establish everything, and then he dies.
Okay.
Then we got Shin Godzilla. Oh man, I love this one. Directed by Hideki Anno, director of Evangelion.
There you go.
Well.
Yeah. So it's also composed by Shiro Sagisu, the composer for Evangelion, which is great because basically both of them decided if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and brought back so many music stings from Eva. So you got the Angel Attack, which Shaun was just doing there. There's a few others, and then you got like all the different versions of Godzilla's theme from like the original recordings by Akira Ifukube. It's a great film where like it shows like the evolutionary process of Godzilla, where like first we see him as like a sea creature that can barely walk on land, and then he mutates into something that can walk on land, but he needs to go back into the water to cool, and then when he comes out he's mutated even further into like, you know, something close to the actual Godzilla we see, and then he's like causing actual destruction and stuff. And again, it takes like, it's all that like response to Fukushima and you know, the 2011 earthquake, tsunami, and all this sort of stuff. It's like, and seeing it from that, you know, Japanese perspective is really cool, and especially like the interplay of politics between, you know, what Japan wants, or how Japan reacts to stuff, and then like how America's trying to interject themselves into it, and then on the larger world stage where it's like you're not seeing any, like you're just hearing that like, oh, the UN is going to authorize that a nuke gets used on Japan, and they're like trying to fight a timer essentially, and it runs down to like really close. I think it's only like an hour or something like that by the end of it, and it's like not stopped because Godzilla's not dead. He's just halted. So if Godzilla moves again, the timer starts. It's incredible.
Right, just that description reminds me of like the Doomsday Clock and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much a lot. Yeah, I've never actually realized that before. That's probably what that's referencing. But sorry, I had another point I was going to come back to.
Sorry,
shit. No, it wasn't you. It was me.
While you're thinking of that, I do want to state that like I've not seen much of this movie. Like it's on my list, but like I haven't really seen much. But there's one thing that has like sort of stuck with me is just the image of one of the earlier mutations of Godzilla, where he's got these really fucked up eyes.
Yeah, he's got like very like aquatic.
Yeah, and they freak me out.
Yeah, because essentially the first one's like just a big like blob with like a head and eyes, and it's really freaky. It's really
like a tadpole.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Like I'm gonna try and like pull it up.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was it. So when I was talking about the interplay of politics and stuff, is it's like you see that like bureaucratic paralysis play out, where it's like this information's coming in, a lot of it's available to the public, but so many decisions are being passed up the chain that nothing's getting done, or by the time it reaches someone at the top, they're like, well, it might not be true. Do we know if the video is real? Do we know if it's been doctored? So you're getting all of these like decisions that are being like, oh well, I don't have the power to do that, and then the power that does have the authority to do that is being like, well, I don't want to make that decision.
Yes, I don't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah, because you have the Prime Minister who's like told, we need to mobilize the SDF. This comes under the, you know, mandates that we are allowed to deploy.
Yeah, it's self-defense.
He's like, but I won't be responsible for the death of citizens. It's like, it's a fucking giant monster. Citizens are already dying.
Yeah, you're gonna be responsible no matter what, mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Prime Minister dies.
Like,
Well then.
that's surprising. I never asking for it.
This is the sort of earlier Godzilla form that I was like talking about.
Oh yeah.
Freaky.
Yeah, fucked up. And then we end on Godzilla -1, the newest Japanese one. Incredible, this one, honestly. Like, it takes it back to a period piece set after World War II, but it's like directly after World War II. I think it's 1947.
Damn.
Where like the Castle Bravo test has like, you know, caused another Godzilla. It is based on like an actual kind of dinosaurish creature, because the main character encounters him before that at the end of World War II. And it's like so much about like, again, you know, Godzilla is like a natural force of nature, and like obviously nuclear energy and stuff, but also it kind of grapples with like that idea of Japan in that transitory state where they've been this imperialistic nation that does not care for human life whatsoever. It doesn't give this, it doesn't hold the inherent weight of what life is. Kamikaze pilots during World War II and stuff like that, because the main character is a guy who was supposed to be a kamikaze pilot but faked a problem with his plane to avoid it, and so he carries some shame for that. And so like the whole movie is him grappling with that, and like the island he lands on to get like repaired is the one that's attacked by Godzilla, and he doesn't shoot at Godzilla, and so like the one person that survives along with him from that island blames him. And so like he's a mechanic, and so eventually he wants to get in contact with him to repair a plane that they're going to use during the like big end sequence where they're fighting Godzilla. And like you think up until the end moment that he's going to become a kamikaze pilot. I can't believe I'm getting worked up over this. Fuck, why?
Emotional movie.
It's not even like I'm upset. It's like that overwhelming amount of like hope and humanity. Where like it has an ejector seat, so at the last minute he pulls out, and you find out he lived and he did it.
And it's just such a celebratory moment.
It's like that thing of watching 38 movies where
I mean, especially then.
None of them have this like hope of like we can overcome, we can become better, we are more than what we are.
We're not defined by Godzilla.
Exactly. And I was like, oh my god. And then you find out that his partner throughout the movie, who you think died earlier in the Ginza attack, actually survived.
Oh, good.
And like people complained about that, and I'm like, no, because that's it's like
nice.
Everything we've seen before has been like, well, people die in these situations, like, but people also survive. These families get reunited.
You might have like an instinctive thing, well, that's not realistic, but happy endings do happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like these people do eventually get reunited months, years later after these events happen.
Like just going off of that, and to go with like the World War II sort of maybe Cold War thing going on, the Berlin Wall falling. Families only reunited after like decades, but that was a hopeful moment.
Yeah, because one of the characters in the legendary movies, specifically in 2014 and in King of the Monsters, the sequel, Serizawa, who's named after a character from the original movie, who's the one that kills Godzilla, the Oxygen Destroyer. His dad like survived Hiroshima and stuff like that, and that's a big part of his character. He carries a watch that's stopped at the time that happened, and it's like all that sort of thing. It's like, happy endings do happen. Like his dad survived that, and now Serizawa's main mission is not destroying Godzilla, but allowing that coexistence. Because that's something we should be able to manage. That was not a great end up, because then Godzilla Kong was after that one. That was movie 37 of 38. But
ignore that.
What a journey.
I always worry if it's recency bias, but like I genuinely I was rewatching -1. I'd seen it before, and I still felt the same from that first time I watched it, because I worried. I was like, is that whole end sequence,
is it different?
Because that end sequence is like 40 minutes of that movie. It's long. It's like a really long, drawn out battle with Godzilla, which again, these things are long and drawn out. And then obviously I know what's going to happen, but I still felt that like,
well, this means it's a good movie.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I said in my review. I was like, the sign of a good movie is that it inspires the same amount of emotion every time you watch it. And I did. I wanted to cheer again. Like, Anyway, I've taken up a lot of this episode. I apologize.
How far in are we now?
2 hours 5 minutes, but some of this is also like us breaking because of outside.
There was a cut.
So I don't know how long it's going to be, and in the
still
end,
gonna be big.
Still going to be big. But
that's what we've been watching.
That's what we've been watching.
That's what me and Melina have been watching, and then Michael watching a lot of stuff.
Yep. And then I've got all the Bong Joon-ho movies to watch after that too.
Next time.
Stay tuned for our next What Did We Watch?
Yeah, I also rewatched Parasite too.
Okay, next time. Next time.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.